This is DateLine, headline breaking news with a little snark thrown in. DateLine, the Department of Justice. Eric Holder, the head law enforcement officer of the nation, has been very busy lately with keeping this country safe. Over the July 4th weekend, what was an obvious and serious national security threat, bigger than Al-Qaeda, bigger than Iran passing a dirty bomb to a suicide bomber to attack us in the homeland. In a 4th of July parade in Nebraska, they had a parade float that had an outhouse with a sign on the side that said, Obama Presidential Library. Eric Holder, the superhero for justice and the American way, will investigate the float. Time well spent, I'm sure. What you need to know, Mr. Holder, is that this float was a reference to where the Obama administration has gone. DateLine, the Federal Elections Commission. A lawyer for the FEC and Obama tool, April Sands, had to resign recently. This government organization that is supposed to enforce election law and investigate alleged violations of election law had an Obama cheerleader tweeting for her dear leader. Sands, who disparaged Republicans who were not, quote, straight white men, unquote, and perpetrating the phony war on women campaign fallacious talking point, and in direct violation of FEC rules, actually solicited campaign donations for the committee to re-elect the president on social media. It's good to know that the Obama stooges infesting the government positions like the FEC and the IRS are so arrogant and stupid that it's getting easier and easier to spot them as they are brazen in their illegal attacks on conservatives. Question is, when will the president resign over the same targeting from FEC and IRS officials that he or his thugs in the White House ordered?
Shame on you, Mr. President.
DateLine, reality. New Obama mouthpiece and paid liar, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest, actually said,
I think that there have been a number of situations in which you've seen this administration intervene in a meaningful way that has substantially improved the tranquility of the global community.
Say what?
Tranquility of the global community.
With radical Islam preparing to take over Iraq when Ramadan ends, Hamas raining missiles all over Israel, an Obama-created humanitarian crisis at the southern border, Christian genocide in Africa, Libya and Syria still extremely violent countries with civilians dying daily, Russia invading a sovereign nation, and now with 300 people killed in a passenger plane being shot down. You, who are the representative of the White House, say Obama's policies have added to global tranquility? May I cordially invite you to pull your head out? DateLine, the Department of Justice. Redo. The Attorney General Eric Holder, who was indicted right here on the Ascend Conservatism show just last week, has come out again as a champion race baiter. He said recently that the right's chants of, quote, take our country back, unquote, is racist. Now, Holder has a history of claiming any criticism against this lawless administration or his Department of Injustice is rooted in racism. Let's give Eric Holder a reality check. When Howard Dean declared his intention to unseat President Bush, he said, quote, you have the power to take our country back, unquote. When he withdrew, he said, quote, I'll be doing everything I can to make sure Kerry and Edwards take this country back, unquote. Damn racist. In 2008, Hillary Clinton opened her campaign by declaring that she would, quote, take our country back, unquote. So not only Bill's a racist, but Hillary is too. New York Senator and scumlord Chuck Schumer said after the 2000 midterm elections, quote, what we really care about is taking our country back, unquote. David Duke couldn't have said it better. and rampant racist Nancy Pelosi based the Democrats' entire campaign to retake the House in the run-up to the 2006 midterms with the catchphrase, "Take our country back."
Stop raging! Stop raging! Stop raging! Stop raging! Stop raging!
DateLine, Florida. The delusional Obama lemming from 2008 who famously said,
"It was the most memorable time of my life because I never thought this day would ever happen. I won't have to worry about putting gas in my car. I won't have to worry about paying my mortgage. You know, if I help him, he's going to help me."
has finally seen the light and realized that the president, her and other low-info voters claim to be the Messiah, is nothing but a typical lying politician. She recently said this last week,
"Mortgage got worse and prices got higher. During that time, we needed a change, but a change for the better, not for the worse."
So not only does she and millions of others, Obama is at 37% approval in the latest Reuters poll, realize now that he was and is a pathological liar, but that just as in the Emerald City, the wizard is nothing but a fundraiser and vacationer in chief.
With champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
DateLine, Massachusetts. Secretary of State John Kerry explained last week that, quote, "I get always a little uptight when I hear politicians say how exceptional we are," unquote. We, meaning American exceptionalism. "This doesn't strike me as shocking as some in the pundit class have exclaimed." John Kerry was a senator for almost 30 years in Massachusetts before taking the Secretary of State position, and up until his run for president in 2004 had written exactly one bill in the Senate after living off the taxpayers for so many years. Kerry, who arguably hasn't worked a day in his life in any real profession, has made his fortune the old-fashioned way. He married it. Kerry's first wife, Julia Thorne, was a millionairess whose father was a diplomat and a publisher. Thorne met Kerry in 1963 at her family's estate in Bay Shore, New York. After she passed away, he set his sights on Teresa Heinz, who had just inherited the H.J. Heinz Company when her husband died. She was worth over $1 billion when Kerry first went after her. And what's so easy to understand about Kerry uptight about exceptionalism is that his only claim to fame is that he marries rich women. May I suggest, like the president's Hail to the Chief, Kerry has his own theme song.
I'm just singing along everywhere I go, even though the party's playing.
And that's DateLine for July 21st, 2014.